Depending on how you will look at it, these are either my humble opinions or just me talking out of my butt. I'll leave that up to you. Now before we get into this, I have some long-winded, verbose explaining to do. The names Kubrick and Miyazaki are obviously referring to acclaimed directors Stanley Kubrick and Hayao Miyazaki, respectively. The reason I'm bringing these two directors up is because of a post that I read on the front page of my Facebook wall. The post read, and I quote, "Why am I bringing up something as asinine as a Facebook post, something equivalent to a little girl announcing she has bought her 600th pair of shoes, or a little boy taking a picture of his poop and showing it to the New York Times? Well, remember when I said that there would be some loud, verbose explanations to be heard? Well, here they come. When I was 12 years old, I saw Spirited Away in the theaters. Needless to say, I was veritably knocked out of my socks. It had everything that all anime I had seen up to that point hadn't. It was everything that all anime I had seen up to that point wasn't. It was, to quote Kubrick's own HAL 9000, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error. The only other Miyazaki film that I had seen up to that point was Princess Mononoke. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but anyway. A few years later, when I was a little older and a little less ignorant, that is, when I realized that not all anime was like Miyazaki, I began to push Miyazaki's films, and by extension, Spirited Away, out of my life. Especially when I discovered that the Disney studios were tampering with his new films as well as his old ones. I think it was also around this time that I started getting into Osamu Tezuka's manga and anime. Anyway, Stanley Kubrick, on the other hand, is and always will be my favorite film director of all time. He is one of the most perfect examples of someone making something from nothing. Just to give you an idea, when he was younger, growing up in the Bronx, he skipped school to take photographs of all kinds of stuff and sent them to Look magazine. Now, ponder that for a moment. Do you actually know anyone who has actually gotten away with something like that? Me neither. And consequently, as Kubrick got older and wiser, he became one of the best film directors in the industry. He created hit after hit, classic after classic, and even a few cult films as well. Even 13 years after his death, his films continue to inspire, and in some cases confuse, countless potential filmmakers like myself. Now, back to the topic at hand. This Facebook post I read about Kubrick fans liking Spirited Away left me more confused than when I watched A Clockwork Orange for the first time. And that's saying something, because A Clockwork Orange is my favorite movie. As it turns out, the website that made these strange and weird accusations was none other than the Stanley Kubrick Facebook fan page. I don't know if you're going to agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. What the? How can someone, or something like that, speak for an entire fan base? Let alone, how can a fan page dedicated to promoting the very thing that its fan base are fans of speak for its entire fan base? I mean, sure, there might be a few of us out there who might like both Kubrick and Miyazaki's films, but how can you be sure that all of us do? You are a forum created by humans for discussions of interest to said humans who created you. In essence, you are a robot! And I am sorry, guys, but I just cannot trust an entity that thinks that Nazi zombies are more notable than Nazi Germany. They aren't! They are a joke at the expense of a smart, clever, sometimes funny, political statement that can lambast anything from racism to consumerism to the horrors of war! Zombies, I mean. Not Nazis. But I digress. While I am of the opinion that Miyazaki and Kubrick may have been admirers of each other's work, I cannot speak for either of them, because I am not them, and neither are they. Wait, now I don't know where they may have gotten the idea that all Kubrick fans love Spirited Away, but I can tell you one thing. I love Stanley Kubrick's films, but I do not particularly care for Spirited Away anymore. That's all.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feel, and I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above, and the sun's in my heart, and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place.